There we go.
Yes. We are live.
There we go.
Are we live now?
We're live.
All right. Okay.
We are
Good.
live.
Sniggity dog.
We're doing a cold opening. It's a cold opening. We're doing a cold opening. Yay!
So is
It's
this where I
furry
take
in
my
here.
shirt off, or do I leave my shirt on at this point?
I'll leave your
Yeah,
shirt
why
on.
don't you just get a
Oh,
why don't
okay.
you just get a shave and a haircut? Why don't
you
you just
have
get a shave and a
tassels.
haircut?
Tassels, so you can take your shirt off.
Mark,
Hi,
I did.
everybody. Welcome to the off night. Yay!
Yay!
Hi, poetess.
Welcome to the off night, folks. We have everybody for a cold opening. We have Mark.
Yes.
He's actually moving. He's moving in time. It's good.
He's moving. in
Tonight's
stereo.
episode is 5 minutes shorter. Yay!
Yay!
All right, so we're all here for the off night. We got everything rolling. It sounds pretty good. We got all our people here. We got our poet.
Yeah.
We got our resident. Well, then there's Mark. Anyway.
Hey, Mark. If you can hear me, if you can fire up Sam's tablet, that should hook up to the ATT network. Yeah, not necessarily.
Well, what I need
network.
to tell you about
He didn't charge it. It's a different plug.
here's what I need to tell you about.
Go ahead, Sam.
Here's my issue for about the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that whenever I say or do anything, I'm on a 3 to 5 second delay.
Yeah.
So everybody has to. I mean, I try to wait for people, but it doesn't always work. Also, you should know that for Sam's iPad,
Yeah.
I was not given the power cord for it,
Oh.
and so it's run out of juice, and I couldn't start it up today before the show.
Oh.
So I'll have to charge it up again.
Okay.
I have Thursday and Friday off. If you want to get together, Jason,
Absolutely.
and we can work on something.
And work on the iPads too.
Yeah.
It's a joke, Susan. Just kidding. Just
No,
kidding. Joke.
your son Gabe also has plans that he needs your help with, Mark. So.
Oh, that's
Well,
right. We're
you
working on. Yeah, we got a screen door here at the house. So
Well, you take
Condo.
care of him
I can't
first.
remember which one it is.
We'll
Gotta fix something.
find a time. Don't worry about that. We'll find a time.
Saturday,
Okay, we got
Saturday and
robot.
Sunday, and then I think I have next Monday off.
Okay. Okay.
I can't remember.
That works.
Do you
Well,
want your
on a
poem?
5 second.
Poem.
Would you like the poem? Okay,
Let's hear the
don't
poem.
take anybody down because I'm afraid you'll.
We want to
you'll
hear the
have
poem.
trouble. All right, here's your poem for this week. Spain had a running of the bulls today. In America, we have something named that way. Our president, who really thinks he's it, his mouth is constantly running of the bullshit. Between 3.3 and 5 trillion added to the national debt. Will there be a reduction? Oh, no, not yet. Big, beautiful bullshit bill was signed into law. Meanwhile, the world's glaciers continue to thaw.
Good.
While Israel and Hamas continue their war, as well as the Russian-Ukraine conflict we all abhor. Remember Trump promised a peacemaker presidency? Can we kick him out early from his White House residency? That's your poem.
Thank you, Susan.
Oh,
You're
wonderful.
welcome. We lost Mark. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I know
Well,
here in Ann
well,
Arbor, we look forward to the annual running of the Bull Dykes. Now that's a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I ran that line past Mark, the running of the bulls, and we have that here, the running of the bullshit.
Well, in Ann Arbor, when you have the running of the Bull Dykes, all I can really say is you don't want to get in their way. You don't want to get in there and run with them because no, you'll end up in the back of a Ford F-250.
It is a good time to sell flannel shirts, though. It's pretty good.
You see, Andy's been there. He exactly. I mean,
50% off, and there.
Pipe wrenches up, ladies.
There was so much sad news. I just couldn't put it in the poem, and so
Yeah, there's just a lot of
like war is bad enough. So
with the floods. Yeah.
Well,
let's skip it.
as has often been pointed out, wars are easy to get into and extremely difficult and unpredictable to get out of. There's
right.
nothing new there, and which is why they're to be avoided.
Hey,
But
how was
he
everybody's
ran
4th of
on.
July?
He ran on peace, peace, peace. I'll end it on day one, and like really.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
But
and Putin fired a guy last
Unfortunately,
week,
day
and
one comes
so he
after day
killed
zero.
himself.
Yeah.
Did you hear that story? Putin fired a guy, and then and now he's suddenly dead.
Well, he fired him
Wow.
right out the window.
It's been ruled a suicide.
Of course it is.
Wow.
Just it's the Russian flu.
Yeah, because when we get fired from our jobs, we all want to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Putin. He's like, hey, you kill like half a dozen people, then you think they think you kill everybody.
You would think that they would get better results after killing a couple of people off. You think you get better results from people, but no.
I think
No, it's the same thing over and over again. I don't want to do the war. I don't want to do this stuff. Can we please stop?
It was ruled a suicide. I think it was similar to Salvador Allende's suicide,
Oh, yeah.
Or Vince Foster.
Yeah, he's suicide. Here, take these pills. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. No, I don't really want that.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is sending a few notes to Vlad saying, listen, Vlad, here's what you want to do to maybe just tart things up a little bit, just to give yourself a little extra margin.
Well, the difference between that and Hillary Clinton is that there's actual evidence for Vlad, none for Hillary, okay?
She booked Paul Wellstone's flight, okay? What more do you need?
Oh, even Paul Wellstone's flight. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, okay, sure. All right, yeah. No evidence. Okay. Let's move on to like a good 4th of July. Anybody had a good 4th of July?
Yes, I took Mark's boat ride. If you haven't been out to Kensington, that is a very nice boat ride, and they were packed. And they even did an extra tour 1 hour later than usual because they had so many people. They kept it open. So my daughter brought guests, and they took the boat ride, and then I took the next one after them, and it was very nice, beautiful weather. And we saw the eagles. I mean, it's a very nice boat ride. I really recommend it. And full price is $6.
Wow.
You can't really beat that. And you see the wildlife and hear the corny jokes. It's fully worth it.
Is Mark are Mark's corny jokes, or are there other guys also doing the corny
There's
jokes?
other people doing corny jokes as well. Yep.
Well, it's certainly not the kind of job you'd want me doing, because I'd be like something like, usually if I'm coming out to this island, it's at midnight in a canoe with a package. Okay, folks, moving on.
Yeah.
No, but there is a story about somebody that comes out in a canoe and scatters rose petals around Nana's Island once a year, and it's it's a very sweet story. So you get the stories and the corny jokes and the nice weather, and especially on the hot 90-degree days, it's at least 10 degrees cooler on the boat. So
yeah,
nice,
very pleasant.
Well,
how long is the ride itself? This is like
45 minutes. So they go on the top of the hour, noon till 6 o'clock is the last boat ride. 45 minutes.
They had the open-ended tour called the Jimmy Hoffa, which it starts just before lunch.
And it ends at the Tiger Stadium. There you go.
The deepest part of that lake is like 30 feet, something like that, 38 feet. Mark could tell you exactly. But it's
you call it the Jimmy Hoffa. You call it the Jimmy Hoffa run. We call it the Bass Fish Chum tour.
Hey, so you don't believe he was buried underneath the athletic place? I know.
That's going to be one of the.
No, that was he would have been. That was the field that is no longer in existence.
Got it.
So they had their chance to dig him up when they built the new stadium there. That's how long we've been talking about Jimmy Hoffa's death. They not only built the stadium that he supposedly was buried under, they've built a new stadium since then and torn that one down.
That's a good joke. We got to use that. That's
Yeah,
good.
1,000 years from now, just like Tutankhamun was, uncovered, Jimmy Hoffa will eventually be located. Yep.
Yeah. Right next to Zsa Zsa Gabor. Yeah.
Or it could be a pile
Then
of
there was
hammers
that. Then there
still
was that.
preserved in the
Then,
basement,
then there was that string of homes in Detroit about 10 years ago that everyone says this is where Jimmy Hoffa was killed, and so they stripped those homes apart, trying to find evidence. And of course, those people all had their houses remodeled because. So once people figured that out, they go, "Hey, I know how to get my house remodeled." I'll
Exactly.
just say Jimmy Hoffa was here.
I've heard he's in somewhere along the Jeffries Freeway. I mean, we all know the rumors and
yeah, the Jeffries Freeway was built at that time. Any major construction project in 1975 is now a possible Jimmy Hoffa burial site.
Yeah, exactly. Suspect site.
Maybe he's been living in Argentina. Who knows?
Well, I think he's at the bottom of Ford Lake. Personally, it's like, it's where they used to bury all the Union guys during the Ford. The enforcer was living out here in Ypsilanti.
Harry Bennett, right on the Huron River.
Yeah, him and his what was the title of his group? It's like,
I don't know, but it's also where John Norman Collins used to drop his blind dates. And
well, one thing about
great movie about the whole Collins thing. It was actually pretty excellent.
When Putin takes out somebody, you don't have to speculate where their body is.
No, you just got no.
You just
You just need a mop, wheelbarrow, and look, it's a crazy part of the world there. You don't get a whole lot of political folks retiring to their dacha, and quietly.
Right. No pension for you.
No.
That's right. No retirement for you. All right.
No,
instead of going to the farm,
somebody.
They basically go on vacation.
Yeah.
You go on vacation, just like we put the dogs out to see the farm. There we go.
I'm guessing anytime anybody gets sent on a government assignment in that administration over there, they ask for floor 1, please put me on floor 1.
Yeah, go ahead, throw me out of this window, comrade.
All right, off you go.
There you go.
It's not really funny. So I mean, didn't make it in the poem. It's just sad and tragedy and floods and.
What lake is this on that this tour takes place?
Kent Lake.
Kensington
Metro Park. Kent Lake.
Kent Lake, which is in the southwest. In fact, part of it's in Livingston.
Yeah, Kensington Metro Park off I-96.
So the Kensington, I know that. So Kent Lake is actually the Kensington Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Kent Lake is actually in 2 parks. It's in both Kensington Metro Park and in Island Lake State Recreation Area.
Yeah, so the boat
or
tour
state
is north of
state
the
park,
freeway.
I guess. Yeah, both port. Yep. And we could. It's deep. Actually, the lake on the state park is deeper than our lake, but we can't get under the bridge because of the canopy over the boat.
Oh, okay.
And it's that canopy that makes that ride so comfortable on 90-degree days because it's the wind blows through.
I'm certain you people have all heard the now legendary story of the what's his name, the Dave Matthews tour bus debacle in Chicago.
No, what happened?
This is from several years ago, but there are also riverboat tours in Chicago, and apparently the Dave Matthews tour bus had decided to empty out their sanitary tanks over the river where they shouldn't have. Just as a tour boat came through that did not have a canopy. Yes, if one of you have access to the internet, you can look this up.
We can We can picture that.
It was, and because he emptied this over a grate, which it sort of had this sort of desiccating effect, so that it rained down a fine desiccated mist of Dave Matthews Band all over the boat, head to toe,
Free
nowhere to run.
For the rest,
souvenirs.
for the rest of the tour, they are known as the Dave Matthews Refuse Tour.
You know, you would you know you've done this whole thing with your career, whatever. Think what you will of Mr. Matthews and his music, yet what you are known for is quite literally coating a tour bus full of tourists with excrement.
Yeah, well, he was just performing Yellow Submarine on the bus. That was all.
oh, I
All
mean,
right, on that dirty note, I'm
on
gonna
that
say
note,
goodbye.
thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
There you go. I mean,
Okay.
yes, had that been G.G. Allen, no one would have been shocked. But Dave Matthews, that certainly was not in his wheelhouse. So
No.
at any rate, so
So what did you do for the 4th, Jason?
I convalesced. I'm getting incredibly old, and quite literally, just laid on my bed praying for death, and you know.
You got ill?
No, you know how I am. You know, I mean, always just sort of like, playing Black Sabbath records backwards, just waiting to see what'll happen. And, with my luck, the ghost of Julie Andrews shows up and she's like, I'm not even dead yet. And I know, this is so weird. What can I tell you? Every now and then I get dark. It happens.
Is she in a Mary Poppins outfit?
Oh God, I remember I used to have a Mary Poppins outfit. Oh, the good old days.
So you are you sick like cold sick or just deep chest sick or what?
Hold on, Mark is trying to do something here. We have got to get him.
Okay.
We are going. I'm going to make this my personal. We're going to get that. We're going to get this whole tablet internet thing just fixed, and then I'm.
So I thought maybe it has an old router or something like that.
It might be an old router, but
I'm not on a router. I'm on my phone's data plan right now.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I mean. It's the whole.
I notice I don't have a delay when Susan left.
Yes, she's holding you back, Mark. It's her. It's her.
Now wait a minute. You had a delay when I was talking to you, so I can't think that it was her fault. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. Andy is quite correct. I was on delay.
That's right.
When
it
was
now
just me and Andy.
Now she's gonna find out that I was talking crap. She's coming after me. Oh no, I'm going to run and hide. Thankfully, she doesn't know where I live yet. But
I can
at the worst I can guarantee you the back black, but I'm in good solid movement. And it matches my speech pattern, so I'm not really, in and out.
Launching it.
Well, I'll tell you about my 4th of July. I thought it was pretty good. Actually, I got invited to a party with my group that we usually meet on Fridays over at the Old Town, and we usually just talk about theater and stuff and whatever. But apparently, since it was on the 4th, the bar was probably closed. So we one of our group decided to have a cookout gathering over at his house with him and his wife. So that was pretty good. We actually had some burgers and some ham. And I brought a lemon cake, but nobody wanted the lemon cake for some reason. Of course, they have a couple of people there had diabetes, so I understand now. I was making a faux pas, so
oh dear.
I left the cake back at the house, and I went over, and so it was actually pretty good. They had a couple of dogs and stuff like that. But I was also invited to Quorum's thing. And I didn't know if my group was going to end early, and they did end early enough. So I called Quorum and said, "Can I still ship on board for your tour?" And he said, "Sure. We'll wait a couple of minutes for you." So I got my yellow cake and I took it over there. I got a different shirt. Was able to get my Hawaiian shirt on, and there's a group of people. I thought Tim Henning would be there, but he wasn't. But it was a group of people that Quorum knew. Some old friends, like somebody from the Towers. Some I think a couple of people were comics. But he has a new boat.
Well, one thing you want to be careful of is you don't want to use Quorum's name and the term yellow cake too much online. Otherwise, he might have people
I'll say lemon cake. I said lemon cake.
Lemon. Okay, not.
Yeah, we're not talking about nuclear weapons.
We're not talking about not the yellow cake, not that Quorum.
No, we're not talking about these. No. Where the safest place in Iran is where the yellow cake is.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so anyway, it was good. It was probably one of the best nights out, and he has it's a beautiful boat, bigger. It has purple lights on it, so it's
he always has the nicest toys. It's not fair.
Well, then I saw his Viper. I don't know what
he has a police officer pen.
It looks like a stealth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was out there crushing the proletariat, putting the people behind bars, and now he lives in luxury.
Well, he's got a car that has massage chairs.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah. It's like has massage chairs. It's I don't want to call it the makeout machine, but I'm pretty sure.
Let's just say that Quorum could never go back to Pakistan. Let's just say that.
No.
Let's just leave it at that.
No, he's not going back to Pakistan.
He's not going. However, I think if we can have him stage a pirate raid on Mark's tour with his new boat, this could be interesting. We could get Quorum out there and.
The plus side of Quorum is his so he can go under that bridge. So
there you go.
No, there we go. Yeah, I think it's like $10 to bring a boat in the park. I think it's 10. I can't remember.
Well,
I never bring a boat in. I use what, a $10 fee to launch your boat.
Well, I'm not saying
it's $40 annually, so just like.
Well,
we have a lot of people. Oh, you know what? Another deal with our park is if you buy the $10 daily tickets, just save them up because you guys are 62, right? You guys are both 62.
So, higher, more.
I'm a little higher.
A little higher. Okay. Well, as long as you're 62, you get the senior rate, and I think the annual pass for a senior is like $25 or something like that. So,
I know that I have. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I said what I said the last that I was going to say, I believe.
Oh, dear. I was just simply saying now that I've actually filed for and received Social Security, I'm now getting phone call from the pre-planning funeral people. So I know that I've
all right.
The broom. Yes, I've made it.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, my friend.
Yep.
So you're getting Social Security now?
Yeah, I filed, and the fools gave it to me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I went out and spent it on cheap. I followed the advice of my fellow senior citizen Mick Jagger, and I got a case of wine and some Puerto Rican girls who were just dying to meet me. And no, but I got the call from the. Would you like to pre-plan your funerals? And I politely informed that my nephew has been instructed as to my request that I am to receive a Fargo funeral. As I've said many times before, my remains are to be scattered with a tree chipper.
Wood chipper.
Yeah, wood chipper during the art fair. That's what I want done.
Nice.
Yes, Andy, you've been in town. You've seen that we're destroying not one but two whole neighborhoods all at once. Because heaven forbid we can't have nice things in Ann Arbor anymore.
Yeah.
Soon it will be yet another giant rising stainless steel fist rising into the sky.
Which one is that? I know that one that's way on that huge one that's over there off of Church Street, where that some sort of
that's the new one that looks like the 32-story rising trailer park in the sky.
Exactly. I want to see our fire department save people from that one. It's like
exactly.
Hey, anybody at 34th, we'll save you. The rest of you guys, parachute. Okay.
Well, now we have the neighborhood down off East Madison and Hill Street. And for all you people who don't live in Ann Arbor, I know none of you care, but it's an entire neighborhood. It's an entire neighborhood that is being demolished,
Yeah.
so that they can put in something glitzy and expensive. And if you have, 7 figures, you'll be able to move in right away. It'll be affordable housing for those of you who have a good, compensation package from Google and the
Yeah.
rest of your insect overlords, while you live in some
Sounds
building
like-
that looks.
Okay. Before we get to the insect overlords, Mark,
Sounds like-
I'm Jason. I got to ask you. I don't know. You're 62, right?
Yes.
All
3.
right. So how much did you get from Social Security? Can I ask that?
You can ask.
Okay. 'Cause I am concerned for myself if I'm going to get any money. I could
Basically,
actually ask
look,
for it.
I will tell you what, here I qualified for the absolute minimum, and the absolute minimum is $1,270 a month. And while
Wow.
Susan did decry, the Trump bill and all that, and that's fine. I'm not here to argue with her about that. That new bill would make people receiving that level of Social Security, that would be free from income tax. So
It isn't
take what-
already.
Well, even better.
It is all your earned.
Well, at any rate,
Well, you
and
know what though? No, I tell you what. If as soon as you get on Medicare in 3 years,
yes.
you'll qualify for a lot of housing.
Well,
If they still have it.
if I make it that long, because I spent most of the 4th of July going over my student loan, which I am in debt to the government to the tune of $77,000, and they want it all right now, which I found both daunting and amusing at the same time. It's like, well, tell you what, I can give you a couple of vintage $2 bills, a couple of dick pics, and some Arby's coupons. How about that?
I know you can't declare bankruptcy and not be able to pay the.
No, thanks to Joe Biden, who changed that when he was a senator from MasterCard. He changed he helped lead the. To be fair, our dear Republican friends joined right along, because guess what, guys? They're all bought and paid for, every goddamn one of them. And yeah, so they made it so that you cannot discharge student debt through that. But at the same token, it's like, come get me. Go ahead. I would. What you want to put me in jail?
Here's how this works, Jason.
Okay.
They start with phone calls. They start with phone
Yes.
calls.
Yes, they
You have
do.
anything but you have anything but a cell phone.
Yeah. No, just cell phone.
You just have a
But
cell.
they-
Okay, neither do
Yeah.
we. So
Yeah.
if you don't recognize the number,
Yeah.
you
Don't
leave
answer.
a message.
That's right.
I never answer the phone unless I know who's calling.
Right.
Mhm.
God, I love the
And
modern
so-
age.
All the debts that I've had,
Mm-hmm.
and if they do happen to get a hold of me, I'll say Sweetman, like in Sweet Man,
Yeah.
SWEET. That
Yeah.
Sweet Man. No, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I don't know who that man is. No.
I go into
if I see a Sweet Man, I'll be sure to let you know.
I go into Nazi war criminal hiding. I'm like, nine.
9.
It's not here. Not
9.
We are
There we go.
Swiss. We are Swiss. No.
I
not-
say just hide in plain sight. Just
It's-
actually tell them what you earned.
it's-
Actually
it's-
tell them what you got. They
it's-
can't
it's-
sue
it's-
you. Got
no.
nothing. You know.
Oh,
That's
well,
the whole
that
strategy.
that is also part of it, is that there are ways that I'm trying to get into what's known as an income driven repayment plan, which would actually bring my payment down to sort of a nominal or token fee, which I would be happy to pay. I mean, because the people who hold
Yeah.
the note
Sure.
are the government's already paid. You gotta understand, federal government the government already paid this loan off. They
Sorry,
already
yes,
did.
already, yeah.
Yes. So I would be willing to pay it's just now it's a matter of just a ton of paperwork. It's getting my taxes up to date for the last 2 years. It's also trying to account for all the time I mean, just now that I knew this would happen when I got a real job.
You
There it
know that somewhere along the way, there's going to be somebody in a position like that is just going to say, "Yeah, come on over and get it."
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just you guys come on over. I'm going to leave the front door open.
Yeah.
Work your way to the back. Work your way to the back of the house.
You
there'll
got
be tripwire. There'll be tripwires, but
Yeah.
you know, just work your way to the back of the house,
That's right.
Well,
and you'll get yours.
I know. I gotta have a big poster of David Koresh in the background while I'm
Yeah.
while I'm sitting there going, y'all can come.
David Koresh with Groucho Marx glasses and mustache.
there you go.
and a Where's John Bonet T-shirt, you know. So it's
Yes!
like
Yes! Boom!
yeah,
Booyah!
exactly. Yeah, exactly. John Bonet fan club. Y'all can come over anytime you want. Take whatever you like. Come on in, boys. My door's always open, even on Christmas. That's right. I live here at the David Koresh compound right out here on the east side of Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh.
You can just get oodles and oodles of everything I got, including my entire videotape collection. Hope you speak German and you've got hand sanitizer because you're going to need it. Look, yeah, we all know there's only so much, but they can make your life miserable to some degree. They can they can guarantee some things. I have one real asset, that's my car, and then they could, even though it's like 6 years old now, they could still find a way to go after that. I mean, the war on the poor has been going on for really quite a while. It's not new, but they're learning different ways to amp it up, because giant corporations that get away with literally murder, well, you know what happens to them, and the answer is nothing. Look at Purdue Pharma, the people who gave us not fentanyl, but opioids. Well, guess what? They're still worth billions of dollars.
They did. Purdue is OxyContin. That's
well, that is what the poison and the family that's behind all that. You know what happened to them? Nothing. They're fine. Don't worry. They're living in mansions. They have billions of dollars. They're good. People like you and me and the rest of us, we will all be crushed underneath the algorithmically driven iron boot of oppression until whatever little is left is squeezed out and emptied into our coffers.
Until someone teaches us how to strap a bomb to ourselves.
Well, and here at the David Koresh compound, that's one of the things we learn is how to build these really nifty chest deployed. We don't want to say bomb. That's a bit garish.
And over there.
Turn to Fox News again. Can I finish my story about
yes.
the 4th of July?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So anyway, Corum was in really great shape. It was a wonderful ride. It was a beautiful night out, and all around Ford Lake was nothing but fireworks going on.
Yep.
So it was just a fantastic evening. Very nice. I actually had a root beer, so I was not beer but root beer.
Yeah, root beer.
Because I had to drive, so it was pretty good. And Corum was in good spirits, and so it was pretty good. I mean, it was a nice thing. It was really good evening, and hoped that I could see Tim Henning there, but he wasn't. And then nobody wanted any of the lemon cake, so.
The lemon. You see, we're back to the yellow cake again.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's the lemon cake.
Okay.
Cake.
Yeah, lemon, right.
Well,
right.
we had me and Corum and another guy who was there who was an actor. We discussed all the stuff that was taking place in Ann Arbor Civic and different styles and stuff like that. And it was just very, very good discussion towards the end. So. Anyway, it was a wonderful evening. Good night. I think I had a really good 4th of July. So,
yeah,
all right, now get back to your Fox News. Let's go. All right.
Oh. Yeah. So, So at any rate, here at the David Koresh compound 2.0, where I'm sitting here snorting OxyContin and listening to old Rush Limbaugh tapes that I made back in the 90s. There was
a Rush Limbaugh play.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God!
It's a Rush Limbaugh play. It was I don't know if it was like. Let me look it up. It was a. It's actually been out. It was out in his earlier in his career, and it has pretty good stuff on it. But the material is probably somewhat dated. Nobody know exactly, except for you guys.
Yeah.
Nobody know what the hell was on there. So
Well, as someone who still listens to Art Bell late at night because his entire archive is now available online, and strangely enough, you know what? It sounds rather familiar because guess what? UFOs, corrupt politicians, unending wars, financial crises, uh, all that and more. We had it 25 years ago. We've got it now. What can I tell you? We had to know the world was unfair when John Lennon got 5 bullet holes and Yoko Ono doesn't even get a flash burn. I mean, so that right there tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, so what can I tell you? And you guys have become statues. What's going on? You're the only one sitting. Oh.
I'm reading.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm looking up. I'm looking up.
All right.
Something. What was I looking up?
Wikipedia doesn't have it.
I don't know.
Play.
What's that?
You were looking up something about Rush Limbaugh's play.
Yes, Rush Limbaugh. Thank you. I can forget about Rush Limbaugh pretty quickly, but okay, Rush Limbaugh.
If only times were different, we could have had Janet Reno with an OnlyFans page. Boy, you guys are
true.
Was it called Rush Limbaugh in Night School?
God, I love it. If it wasn't, it should have been.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Rush Limbaugh on Night School.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
See, I didn't mind Rush Limbaugh. The guy that drives me up a wall to this day is Sean Hannity.
Oh, yeah.
Because at least Limbaugh was funny. Limbaugh understood radio. He was a good radio guy. He was a radio DJ before he ever became political. Sean Hannity, on the other hand, is like this talking hemorrhoid with a wig. And God, I wish Sam were here. He would go into his Sean Hannity diatribe.
Rush Limbaugh did Monday Night Football for a couple.
Yeah.
Well, he did for briefly. He was on one of the pregame shows, and it was just before the news broke about he had that little problem with OxyContin and had to go away to rehab for a few short weeks, and then his ears were because apparently he was using his housekeeper to help him score some groovy stuff. The oxys.
Because everybody knows the poor people know how to get the best drugs.
Exactly. Well, see, exactly. Everyone does know that. Excuse me, you look a little down on your luck. Do you know where I could possibly get some narcotics? I need something rather potent, if you don't mind. I don't want it stepped on with monkey prints. Yeah, that's and as a man who's been to prison for narcotic distribution, I can. God, I miss those days.
Yeah, I'm watching The Wire. You lived The Wire. I got it.
Well, it just I mean, I got to tell you, the Sunday brunch was really not all that, but when you got a visitor, so you got a little attention, and then you got a strip search to top it off, and you knew that, boy, you're really living large at this point, and meanwhile, you're letting the other guy know who's doing the strip search. Yeah, you served in the military and went 3 years at 4 different community colleges just to end up here. Okay, hope you enjoy lunch after this. Yeah. That's.
Was he getting paid $59 an hour or what?
Probably. Although when I think about prison and whether we like it or not, I think we can all go back to Richard Pryor's best, one of his better monologues when he says, after going to prison to shoot a movie with Gene Wilder and hanging out with the brothers, and after talking to them for a couple of weeks, all he had to say was, "Thank God there's prisons."
There's a guy that says, "Why did you kill him? He was there."
They were home. They were home. Yeah, exactly.
They were home.
They were home. Good old Mr. Pryor. And again, going to show why there was a time when stand-up comedy was actually really fantastic and amazing. Mark would know something about this. He was a participant in said era. Well, some of us, not so much. We were fodder for that era. But yeah,
It was I could never do what they do today.
no,
I got into it because I could afford to. In
yeah,
other words, I have a job, be paying to quit. I had the day job that was very easy to quit. I never could have done what they do today.
Yeah.
well, you were in a
If I
time
wasn't
when
if I wasn't getting paid this year, I doubt I would have kept at it.
Yeah.
how did you manage to get into radio? Because you said you used to sit there and work with what, Dick Purton,
I was
or
I was a my degree was Bachelor of Arts in Communications with a concentration in film studies. However, that particular denotation basically came after 4. I graduated in 5 years because it was at 4 years ago. Wait, I thought you did 4 years ago. Oh no, you got to complete a program. What am I closest to? Go, it looks like film studies. Basically, so my screwing around for 4 years meant for the 5th year I had to get serious classes I needed to graduate. And so what I did was, one of the classes I took in my first 4 years was a screenwriting class with Hal Youngblood, who was J.P. McCarthy's producer over at
okay, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, because oh dear, we've lost Mark again. No doubt Susan is chasing him around and threatening him, sort of like the Livonia's own Ma and Pa Kettle.
There you go. Well, Ma, well, Pa,
what
are you doing? Well, I tell you, I was like, can't do a ma voice. Oh,
it's
Russ voice.
It's one of those things where it's like trying to do Amos and Andy characters. You
can do the Pa character. Well, Ma, I get you. It's just the low key voice. But
God,
you can't quite do the mother character.
No. It's just one of them things. So, oh my goodness. Well, at any rate, I know that we're still having technical issues. I will get together with Mark. We now have Sam's iPad back. Yeah. I've done some research into what's going on, and maybe I can kind of get things.
It seems like Mark's. It has to be at Mark's. Like his phone and his computer are doing the same thing.
Well,
so that's why I'm thinking it's the router.
No, well, the thing is, in this modern age, Andy, the phone, because Mark's phone's a couple years old, which means it's a technological relic at this point.
Because my phone is even my router. The computer I'm working with is only a year old.
Yeah.
So it, whatever that means, I think it's got higher whatever, and it just.
Oh yeah, the processor's moving pretty fast. Yeah.
When I'm on my phone. Listen. When I'm on my phone, I am not on anybody's router.
Right, you're on the network.
I am on T-Mobile's. I'm on T-Mobile's data system. So if I can get a call, I can get online.
Yeah,
because I got a 5G. I got a 5G connection, so it's not a 6G, but it's more than a 3 or 4G.
Well,
okay.
The thing is with these phones, with this technology, it always is progressing because they want you to buy something newer and better no matter what. If you were to go back in time with like the first iteration of the iPhone, you'd be instantly burned as a witch, but
I believe we can thank the Motor for that, because it was GM in the 1950s that came up with the term obsolescence.
You're damn right they did. And then they went and played golf. And they ate steaks, and they sold us Cadillacs, and God, it was glorious, and I wanted all back. And guess what? People had dental and health care, and sure, they died at 58. Yeah, whatever. You smoked enough tobacco to poison the whole population. You drank like a fish.
You can't take sexy tail fins to heaven. So.
Hell no. So you better drive them now while you got them, baby. Or better yet, bury yourself in the damn thing. Yeah.
I mean, back
Hell
then,
yeah.
all they
grilled.
you had was to, basically set broken arms. That was it.
That's right.
That's all they could
Give
do.
me, give me a grill that looks like gritted teeth.
Putting on chrome with a trowel. I mean, absolutely, yeah. Just with the big yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And like, you're right. We'd all be dead of cancer before we were in our mid-50s. But so what? What a way to go, baby cakes! It was
Exactly.
fun.
My paternal grandfather and my maternal my mom's dad died at 55. My dad died at 58. So that was like. And my dad made 77. So, and both my wife's parents have made it into their 90s. So pretty much when we retire, we're spending my money first.
Absolutely. Well, my mother checked out at 54. My dad barely made it to 65. I'm 64 in August. Well, they did save us. But my mother used to tell me, she used to tell us, hey, I've lived like a hillbilly on Saturday night my whole life. I was never going to get old. So, at least she went out. On the way back from the cardiologist, we'd stop to get bacon and cigarettes. So, hats off to her. Again, you just bat right into it. Just like, nope, this is it. This is
my dad's dad, my grandfather Ray. He said, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you guys want to call me one of the biggest hypocrites on earth, I'll absolutely, because I used to rail against Social Security, this and that. Yeah.
Andy, you want this one? Go ahead. Lob them,
And now here I am. By the way, Andy, if you're thinking about doing Social Security, just do it. Just go online. It'll take you about 45 minutes. It takes them about 30 days because it goes into a big hopper. It takes about 30 days. Then someone calls you. They interview you for about 15 minutes. And then in the next 7 to 10 days, $1,270 appears in your bank account. At least. At a minimum.
But once you get into that minimum one, you grows it further, right?
It grows 6%. Every I think it's 6% every month.
Yeah, well, you are correct, Mark. There's no doubt about that. But the thing is,
if you can put it up, because I put it up until 65, and I could have waited till I guess 70 is the latest.
Yeah, you can wait. But the thing is, for instance, in my particular case, every year that I didn't take it, I'm leaving $15,000 on the table. And that's $15,000.
Guys like us, we have to get early because we're going to live long enough to make it work to get that extra money.
That's it. That is the calculation. If you know when you're going to die, then it's much easier to determine what they call the crossover point is.
Yeah.
I will probably live to be a burden.
My crossover point got to 83 years, 6 months. And I said, there's no man in my family that's ever lived 83 years and 6 months. I'm taking it now.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, hey, my mom was up to 90 and my dad was at 86. But they both had good health care.
You better hold on, Andy.
They both had good health care their whole lives.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I had health care, very good health care.
So okay.
Their butts were firmly placed in the butter their whole lives. That's what I'm saying.
Well, bear this in mind. You can collect your Social Security, and then you can use what income you do earn to put into a 401k. You are still allowed to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you can still shelter income with your earned income going into one of two different types of 401ks that allow you to defer the tax. Either you defer the taxes now and you pay when it comes out, or pay taxes now and defer when it comes out. So talk to someone about that. But by taking the money now, you are able to shelter a certain amount of income for later on. I'm still participating in a 401k through my present employment. I'm still kicking myself for back in 2008 and 2009 collapsing down my retirement accounts to keep my failing business alive a little bit longer.
That's right. You had that yellow cab, that cab.
Yeah, I
thing
had that little cab thing that went completely tits up and took every penny I had in the world and left me destitute and homeless. And boy, wasn't that a treat? Wasn't that a delight?
Well, you did participate in the American dream.
I did absolutely. I
you
mean,
did.
so did Charles Manson. I'm sort of like, Richard Speck with a thyroid problem.
Got it.
Another.
Well, let me ask you a quick
Oh, I'm
question.
sorry, Mark.
So what
did
do you
come
think?
in the
Why
middle
did
of
your
that?
business go belly up there? I know you're in like the rural areas, but it seemed like it would be a good location.
But it wasn't. It was a place where everyone had cars, and also remember 2008 to 2010 was also when the economy in this particular area was being impacted. The whole country was having a hard time.
Oh yeah.
And while the echo.
Mark's working his magic there.
Yeah. And while we were doing our little magic, remember between 2008 2009, both the Obama and the Bush administrations did everything they could to make sure the bankers were bailed out because they were too big to fail. The rest of us little people, we were small enough to crush. So and that's what they did.
I totally agree. They did it the wrong way. They should have given like breaks to the people at the bottom, and then that would save the banks at top. You don't have to go to the top. It's just,
or at least put some bankers in prison.
That would be cool. Yeah.
That would have been fine too. Or made them work in wine shops in Gary, Indiana. You
remember that line from Cinderella Man?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. It was about a boxer guy. He's called like the Cinderella guy.
Yeah.
The guy says he's on during the Depression, and he's trying to get food from the food line.
Right.
And the guy looks at him. Weren't you that boxer? Yeah. I thought you made some lot of money. I did. What did happen to it? I put it into a taxi company. Who thought a taxi company in New York could go belly up?
Well, if you didn't pay the right, I'm not going to say the right Italian, I'm just saying the right person in New York, then, maybe things didn't work out quite so well for you.
I think you could identify. It was a good film, actually. It had Renee Zellweger and had what's his name? Gladiator.
The Australian dude, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Had Russell Crowe as a fighter. There
you go. But no, well, unfortunately, in reality land, it just simply there was nothing poetic. I simply used all the money up and then some, and then realized that I'm left holding a big bag of excrement and I can't pay rent, and it looks like I'm going to set sail and live in parks and underneath truck stops and.
How many cars did you have?
Boy.
At one point, I had 6.
You're in a van down by the river.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm living in a van down by the river.
And I dropped a bunch of money into getting a couple back on the road that had been sidelined for the summer. And then everything just absolutely turned. And, oh, by the way, Michigan football took a big crap right at the same time. That's when Rich Rod was so. And Andy, you and I both know how important football Saturdays were back then.
Yeah.
And suddenly they weren't important because Michigan sucked at a cosmic level. Yes. And
but those are actually great years because you could actually drive around the stadium and there's no trouble.
Great if you mean poverty, picking up returnables, fighting with the homeless over the few little meat dribblings that might be left on the stick for the hot dog.
Parking was so easy back then. It was just easy. There was no.
Lots of things were easy back then because you. But
all right, let me pitch you guys something.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Remember trickle down?
Yes.
Give everything to the rich. And
well, that's it's called supply side economics. I'm familiar with its work. Yes.
Okay. All right. So what would the opposite be? Demand side economics?
Pardon me?
Would the opposite of supply side economics be demand side economics?
Yeah, that's Keynesian economics. Yes. Yes, that's
All
that's based off the demand
What
curve.
if? Yeah. What if they did the opposite? What if they gave a shit ton of money to poor people? Wouldn't the economy sort of revolve around the people spending? Because those are the people that spend money. Rich people can't spend any more money.
That's what
I mean, you can't
demand
really
side
spend all that.
economics is about. It's about changing what's known as consumption.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sam is screaming at from beyond the grave. He always talking about economics. Oh my God, make him stop.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this, that is what
I
was going
miss
to
you,
happen
Sam.
because nobody's going to have any jobs anymore, but they still need somebody to buy the products. If it's
Well,
all going to be done by
that's
robots, just like Kurt Vonnegut predicted,
guys.
you're going to have some sort of income given to the poor to buy stuff.
Well,
This is the
all right.
this
Then
is one of the
why does MAGA want everyone to have more babies? What is that all about?
because
I would think
babies
they
are
need
delicious.
fewer babies.
No, babies are wonderful.
Mm.
That just like Soylent Green.
Yeah.
There were riots for people who wanted Soylent Green. Talk about a supply and demand issue.
Jason is the Edward G. Robbins. Jason is the Edward G. Robinson of our times. Soylent Green is babies.
We're all going to be rowing Elon Musk ship, the Elon Musk boat, the Jeff Bezos party boat, all the way up to Soylent Green Bay, so that we can be reprocessed in this at the Soylent factory, because up there they've got this big tall alien with a book that says to serve man.
Yes.
And but they're going to fatten us up on the way up there because they don't want us to lose weight. And it'll be great. They've told us it's going to be wonderful when we get there, and there's going to be Wi-Fi and showers and tattoos, and we're going to learn how to make lampshades and wallets and
get to go to the farm. We're going to go to the farm.
We're going to go to the farm.
The farm
And
will be great.
Billy Mumi's going to send us out into the cornfield, and all our dreams are going to come true. And I'm going to start doing my best overweight Dr. Smith impressions when I get there. I'll be whining about my back and the robot and yeah.
Well, the robots are going to do everything.
That's right. And what could possibly go wrong? And the robots are all friendly until they put.
I just saw, and it'll be done in a iBuzz Volkswagen bus, because they're creating a non-driver bus that can hold up to 7 people.
That's right.
Driver. You got luggage. They're gearing it towards public service or public transportation. I'm not frozen. You're frozen.
Mark's frozen again. Yeah, there he is.
No, his head's moved.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to start just calling the show Frozen Men.
Every GD day.
Yeah, Mark Headroom. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, this is. And by the way,
I like that.
Mark Headroom. Okay.
Mark Headroom. Yep. That's.
Mark Headroom.
Remember that was our first virtual computer character from way back in the day. By the way, when I was in college,
Max Headroom used to freeze up all the time.
That's my point. That he'd be doing all kinds of. Yeah, once again they foretold our future. Just like they told us that if we just open up our markets
and before
to China,
Max Headroom, we had Andy's impression of Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay.
And I'm working on my Aunt B with her OnlyFans page.
Well, I want to tell you the secret of why we're not married.
George Bailey Headroom.
I do impressions. After about 6 months, the women go, just get the hell out of here, okay? No more Jimmy Stewart impressions. You don't want me to do the dishes? No, don't say the impression, for God's sakes.
I tell you, as much crap as we've given Joe the Animal over the years, I always did love his line about, women hate hand puppets. Let me tell you why. Or let me tell you how I. That joke actually worked.
That is my favorite. That is so funny. And the thing is, if you ask, it's funny. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no explanation for it.
No, it women just is.
Women hate hand. me why.
Ask me why.
Ask me how I know.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
am not
That's the animal.
man.
That's Joe the animal. Yeah.
Joe the animal. Why
Yeah.
women hate
Joe
him.
the animal. Oh my
Yeah.
God, such a fun
Hey,
line.
Mark, will you be doing the show this
Everybody's
Sunday?
got everybody's got one great line.
Oh yeah.
That's it, guys. We're gone. Hey, it's a cold
We're-
ending. It's a cold
First
ending.
and third. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Sorry, I forgot we're doing a cold ending. We're just
Cold
going to
ending.
close it at 50. We're at a minute. All right, stay on,
All right.
boys. We're going. We're here every Monday night at 8 o'clock. 3 white men and my wife. All right. I mean, not my wife.
Max Hedron. Max Hedron. Yeah.
Never mind. That's not what I meant. We got to go. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Yep. All right. So,
Yeah.
so Mark.